Yes, we have to, because they didn't have. So. He's looking at something. How can we have, this is different.
Are you ready?
Oh, he's looking at something.
The camera's on, so.
It is. So I can wait. No voice.
Almost got me drinking.
Okay. It's 4 o'clock. Meeting to order.
Wait.
You're ready.
I'm ready, I'm already standing.
Okay.
You gotta say that thing though, so it's on tape.
Yes, it's.
That you're opening the meeting.
Oh, I opened the meeting at 4 o'clock. I didn't know you.
On the 26th
On the
of October.
26th. Okay. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, minutes from October 12th. You all read them? Reviewed them?
I did.
Any corrections or additions?
I found none.
Mark, are you okay with the minutes?
Motion to accept the city council meeting minutes, October 12th, 2021.
Second? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, Public Works.
That's us.
That would be you.
You guys will go stand by the green.
Little green spot there. You guys go on?
Water's doing good, we can lift our restrictions. We've got plenty in there for now. And we did firing up there today, and we dug out the primary and the secondary water intake so that we don't get rock and sand in our filter system, which made a huge difference last year doing that. Huge difference. Hours of shoveling that we don't have to do to keep that cleaned out. And
Yeah, because we had him do that last year, right? At the, just before winter.
yeah, and we waited till we got water up there before we dug, because we couldn't afford to take a chance of derailing our water, losing it into the ground or something. So the filter beds all have, or screen beds all have good water over them, and I'm sure we're gonna get more rain and hoping. So.
And then, just so council knows that DeWalt Days was at D&D. Jeff called me and he asked if they could buy a tool set, 163 piece, and I let them do it because it only was $114. It's over half off. So that way we don't have to keep using Tim's tools, just so council knows.
113.
It's like 50% off.
Anything else, guys? Anything else good?
Everything else?
Any other questions for them?
The thing is Tim came to me earlier this week, and there is a cylinder that's steering cylinder for the backhoe that's leaking, and it needs to be resealed. I think the seals are $280 some for the seal kit. And this is something that he wanted me to approve, and I said I'd wait till we came to council on that. It's something that's working right now, but it leaks.
Is that something we can replace in-house, or do you have somebody do it?
If we can get the tie rods ends off of it, changing the seals is pretty simple.
They'll unscrew.
If the tie rods don't unscrew from the cylinder,
So we're not sure at this point. And it's not critical at this point, but it's leaking, so.
and we got snow to deal with short.
Thanks for the work you guys did on Schroeder's, it looks really nice.
I hope he's happy with that.
He is, he wrote.
Oh, he already did.
Oh, you already talked to him?
Pardon?
You talked to him?
He wrote, an email, yeah,
Oh, he has seen it
yes.
Good, good.
But he said he'll continue to monitor it, but it looks nice.
then. Yeah, I thought so. We got all the old stuff there too. They took away all the old dirt off, and a lot of that was on his property, so I just thought he might get upset that I had the backhoe on his property. I didn't, it was all dry ground, and I left it smoother than it was, but that was the only way we could remove the piles of dirt that someone else had dug the ditch out and piled into the. So,
No, it looks a whole lot better than it did, that's for sure.
good.
Anything else, Ron? Thank you. Planning, we have an application here. This is a call for notice.
What zone is this in?
IR.
Say that something?
On the front page.
It says on the front page of the application. Yeah, there's a whole
Oh,
series.
okay.
I know where it's at, what he's doing, yeah.
He meets the setbacks.
Any questions, comments?
No, I don't see anything wrong with it. I went over and looked at it.
Yeah, because this is actually a garage, not just a snow booth. So it's actually physical building.
So are we going to approve this or are we going to wait for planning?
480 square feet.
Yeah.
So those count.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll make the motion to approve, the Moore's planning application as presented.
Do you have a second?
All second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And then you let them know.
And I'll get it sent to Bigger King.
Okay, old business. We have the nuisance ordinance and resolution. For those of you that weren't here, Sheriff Ashton's up here. They are having a pilot program where they're hiring an enforcement deputy. All he would do is respond to nuisance ordinance. And if Sumter accepts their nuisance ordinance, they will be our enforcer representing complaints, and complaints will go straight to them. The deputy will come out and resolve it. And so part of the process is for us to do this resolution and to accept their nuisance ordinance. And I think you have Larry going to read it.
So resolution 397-21.
Resolution adopting Baker County nuisance ordinance No. 2019-02. Be it resolved by the City Council of Sumter, Baker County, Oregon, that whereas the City of Sumter feels the need to adopt an ordinance to protect the health, safety, and general welfare of the people of the City of Sumter, County of Baker, State of Oregon, and protect the beauty of its historical landscape, and whereas the Baker County Sheriff's Department provides enforcement of ordinance No. 2019-02, and whereas the City of Sumter feels the best way to do this is to adopt the Baker County Public Nuisance Ordinance in its entirety. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the City of Sumter adopts the document included as Attachment A, No. 2019-02, entitled Baker County Nuisance Ordinance. Signed, ______.
Let me just skip to the attachment.
Attachment A. Read for the first time this 26th day of October, 2021. Read for the second time, by unanimous consent of the City Council members present, this 26th day of October, 2021. Passed by unanimous vote of the City Council on the 26th day of October, 2021. This ordinance will be enacted 30 days after City Council approval. Attachment A to Ordinance 2019-02. Baker County Nuisance Ordinance. Article 1. Creation of nuisance prohibited. Except as otherwise authorized in this ordinance, no person shall create or maintain a nuisance on private property. Such nuisances are declared to be public nuisances which may be abated as provided herein, or by instituting court proceedings as provided by law. Article 2. Definitions. For the purposes of this ordinance, the following definitions apply, unless specifically accepted in this ordinance. Nuisance includes an accumulation of solid waste, as defined herein, such that it injures or endangers the health, safety, and general welfare of others. Dangerous buildings or structures, as defined herein. An accumulation of inoperable vehicles, vehicle bodies, or parts equating to three or more total vehicles on one property. Solid waste includes all putrescible and non-putrescible waste, which includes but is not limited to garbage, rubbish, refuse, ashes, waste paper and cardboard, rubber products, petroleum products, plastics and other man-made products, grass clippings, compost, sewer sludge, hazardous solid waste, hazardous appliances and containers, residential, commercial, industrial, construction and demolition waste, equipment and furniture, metal, vehicle parts and waste motor oil, vehicle tires, manure, vegetable or animal solid and semi-solid waste and dead animals. Dangerous buildings or structures includes a building, structure, mobile or manufactured home, when the conditions or defects of the building, structure, mobile or manufactured home are to the extent that the life, health, property, or safety of the public or its occupants are in danger. Authorized enforcement officer includes Baker County planning officials, Baker County Sheriff and all deputies under the Sheriff's Office, any other person specifically authorized by order of the Baker County Board of Commissioners. Article 3, Exceptions. The following do not constitute a nuisance under this ordinance. Generally accepted, reasonable and prudent farming and forest practices as described in ORS 30.930 to ORS 30.937. Commercial or mining operations on real property zoned for such use in Baker County. Materials located in an authorized landfill or transfer station, licensed and maintained in accordance with local and state law. Vehicles or equipment of historic significance that are utilized, restored, or displayed in a way that promotes historic preservation of cultural values. Article 4, Enforcement Provision Section 4.1 Procedure following complaint. When a complaint is made to Baker County alleging a violation of this ordinance, the process to be followed by Baker County for investigating and addressing the complaint is as follows. A site visit will be conducted by an authorized enforcement officer and a determination made as to whether a violation of this ordinance exists. In making this determination, the enforcement officer may consider reports and other evidence from agencies and individuals contracted to perform services for Baker County, including but not limited to Baker County sanitarian, building code officials, and / or the state fire marshal or representatives thereof. At the discretion of the enforcement officer, an informal letter may be sent to the property owner informing the property owner of the complaint, with the intent to resolve issues surrounding the complaint prior to the issuance of a notice of violation. If an authorized enforcement officer determines a violation of this ordinance exists, a notice of violation will be issued in accordance with sections 4.3 to 4.4 of this ordinance. The authorized enforcement officer may enter into a removal or abatement agreement with the property owner at any time, before or after a notice of violation is issued. Such a plan must be in writing, signed by the enforcement officer and the property owner, and must include a date by which the removal or abatement will be completed. Any extension or amendment to the agreed upon removal or abatement plan must also be in writing and signed by the property owner and enforcement officer. If no
Notice is given as provided in sections 4.3 to 4.4 and the property owner either rejects the notice of violation or receives the notice and fails to remedy or cure the violation within the time specified in the notice, or fails to remedy the violation pursuant to the removal or abatement agreement. The authorized enforcement officer may cause a citation to be issued. Once a citation has been issued to the property owner, the matter will be heard by the Baker County Justice Court. Alternatively, if it is determined by the authorized enforcement officer that abatement of the nuisance could require entry by the county onto property where the property owner has a reasonable expectation of privacy, the matter will be heard by Baker County Circuit Court. And the authorized enforcement officer will make reasonable efforts to update the reporting party of the progress and outcome of the complaint. Section 4.2 Time to remedy violations. Any situation or occurrence deemed to be a violation of this ordinance shall be abated by cessation, repair, rehabilitation, or removal as specified in the notice of violation within 14 days of the notice, unless the respondent has formulated a removal or abatement plan that is acceptable to the county, as described above. Section 4.3 Notice of Violation. An authorized enforcement officer, after making a determination that a violation of this ordinance exists, shall cause notice of the violation to be posted on the premises where the nuisance exists, unless a removal or abatement agreement signed by the property owner and the county is in effect. The property owner shall also be given written notice of the violation. Service of written notice may be made in one of the following ways: in person by the Baker County Sheriff or any deputy authorized by the Baker County Sheriff's Office; by mailing by certified mail to the respondent's last known address as it appears on the last property assessment roll with the Baker County Assessor's Office; through publication for 2 successive weeks once per week in a newspaper of general circulation in the county, to be designated by the board. An error in the name or address of the property owner shall not make the notice void, and in such a case, the posted notice shall be sufficient. Section 4.4 Notice of Violation Contents. The following information shall be included in the notice of violation: a description of the real property, by street address or otherwise, on which the condition, substance, act, or nuisance exists; a description or identification of the activity or condition constituting the alleged infraction, and the identification of the property owner as the respondent or responsible party; a statement that the authorized enforcement officer has determined the activity or condition to be a violation of county ordinance; a statement of the action required to remedy, cure, or abate the alleged infraction and the time and date by which the remedy must be completed; a statement that the respondent has the right to meet with the authorized enforcement officer within 14 days of service, to formulate a removal or abatement plan that is acceptable to the county; a statement advising the respondent that if the required remedy is not completed within the time specified and the respondent has not entered into a removal or abatement plan with the county, a citation may be issued, an abatement hearing may be set with the Baker County Justice Court, and a fine may be imposed. Section 4.5 Violation Proceeding. Any hearing or trial on a citation will be conducted in accordance with ORS 153.076, and will not be scheduled fewer than 7 days after a citation is issued. The county shall have the burden of proving the violation by a preponderance of the evidence. At any hearing or trial on the citation, the authorized enforcement officer will represent the interests of the county by presenting evidence, offering relevant documents, calling witnesses, and offering exhibits in support of the citation, unless defense counsel appears representing the respondent. At any hearing or trial on the citation, and in every hearing or trial where defense counsel appears, the county will be assisted and or represented by either the district attorney or county legal counsel. Section 4.6 Immediate remedial action required. Notwithstanding the remedial time period above, if the authorized enforcement officer determines that the alleged violation presents an immediate danger to the public health, safety, or welfare, or that any continuance of the violation would allow the respondent to profit from the violation or would otherwise be offensive to the public at large, the authorized enforcement officer may require immediate remedial action. If, in such cases, the authorized enforcement officer is unable to serve a notice of violation on the respondent, or, if after such service the respondent refuses or is unable to remedy the violation, the county may proceed to abate the violation once a court order has been granted by the Baker County Justice Court or Baker County Circuit Court. Article 5. Abatement Procedure. Owner abatement. If the property owner is found guilty by the court of the alleged violation, the court may impose a fine, as set forth in Article 6, or at the discretion of the court, reduce the fine called for in this ordinance. In addition to or in lieu of the fine, the court may order the property owner to undertake such remedial action as may be necessary to abate the nuisance. A reasonable time shall be allowed for such action. A copy of the order shall be sent to the owner of the property. Appeal from such order shall be allowed in accordance with state law. County abatement. If, after an opportunity for the property owner to be heard, the court finds that the remedial period has passed and the nuisance has not been fully abated, the court may permit the county to, at its discretion, go onto the property, if necessary, and abate the nuisance either in whole or in part. Fees associated with abatement. The property owner shall be responsible for all costs incurred by the county, including collection costs, together with any additional amount as set by resolution, to cover the expense of inspection, overhead, and enforcement of this ordinance. Billing. Upon the completion of the work, the county shall cause a billing of all amounts due to be sent to the owner of the property. After notifying the owner and giving him or her an opportunity to be heard, the Baker County Board of Commissioners may, by resolution, on a case-by-case basis, declare the correctness of the statement of costs and declare the same to be a lien upon the property involved, to be recorded and bear interest at the rate of 9% per annum commencing as of the date of recording. The lien shall continue until the assessment and all accrued interest has been fully paid. An error in the name of the owner or person responsible shall not void the assessment, nor will a failure to receive the notice of the proposed assessment render the assessment void, but it shall remain a valid lien against the property. The county may, at its discretion, bring an action for recovery of cost of abatement in any court of competent jurisdiction. Article 6, Classification of Violation and Fine. Violation of this county ordinance is a Class A violation, subject to a maximum fine of $500 for each day the nuisance is found to be in existence. Accrual of the fine begins 14 days after property owner is given notice of the violation, as provided in Article 4, Section 4.3 to 4.4. If a removal or abatement agreement exists, accrual of the line begins the day after the expiration of the date specified in the agreement. Assessments recovered and assessed amounts forfeited shall be paid to the clerk of the court. After first deducting court costs in the proceedings, the clerk shall pay the remainder to the Baker County Treasurer for the general fund of Baker County. Force 203.035, Power of County Governing Body or Electors over matters of county concern. Force 203.065, Violation of County Ordinances. Force Chapter 153, Violations and Fines. Force 153.08, Violations described. Force 153.012, Violation categories. Force 153.025, Authority of political subdivisions to specify ordinance violation as particular level of violation. Force 153.045 through 153.051, Citation, Complaint, and Summons Requirements. Force 153.076, Conduct of Trial.
Any discussion?
Do we get the fine money or does the county get it?
The county gets it since the sheriff's doing all the work.
The fine, not the recoupment of expenses.
Well, I don't know, we can ask him, he didn't address that when he was up here.
Well, this says the county gets it.
Yeah.
Is that what we intended?
I think so, I thought we were just handing this over so they would just handle it.
Okay.
I mean, that's what I thought, this way we aren't, it's done in a timely manner and as an enforcement officer. Is there a motion to read this a second time by title only?
Make a motion to read for a second time by title only on the resolution 397-21.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Okay, Renee, we need it read by title only. Okay. City of Sumter Resolution number 397-21.
A resolution adopting the Baker County nuisance ordinance number 2019-202. That's it? Because the title for the ordinance is Baker County nuisance ordinance.
Right. Okay, if there's no other discussion, is there a motion to accept this program, this resolution?
I'll make a motion to accept resolution 397-21 read in its entirety and second time by title.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, I guess we'll let Sheriff Ross know that we did that, so we can, know this.
It's got to be posted 30 days.
No.
No.
It'll just be enacted.
Okay.
Why don't we put emergency clauses in these things?
Why do we?
Why don't we?
I don't know.
This one particular, he said it had to be passed without changing anything on it to.
What, that wouldn't change the ordinance, our resolution.
The resolution.
All you have to say is, enforcement being necessary for the immediate benefit of the citizens of Sumter, emergency is hereby declared. That goes into effect immediately on passage. And we can do that if you desire.
We can do that. The program wasn't going to start, I don't think, until the first of the year. They still had to hire the deputy. Is all, is that,
But still, I mean, on other ordinances.
in other ordinances. Yeah,
Yeah.
we could do that, yes.
Couple people put in my comment.
Go ahead.
One, you might want to ask for a clarification, being a biologist, one of the terms in there was compost. You might want to find out the definition of compost being prohibited as a nuisance item. A lot of people want to compost their, clippings and their other things.
That's a good point. The problems with these ordinances, and I've been involved in litigation supporting them and attacking them on a constitutional basis, they're really tough to enforce because, if it's deleterious to the general welfare, what does that mean? What you think it means, what I think it means are two different things.
And the term compost is very broad.
Yeah.
In many cases.
Same thing. There's a good chance this ordinance is unconstitutional, but at least it gives us something to start with.
This is a start and then for the county, so we just have to see how it goes and see if we need changes.
Well, I think that's what Travis was talking about, is making a list of the particulars.
Okay.
Because this is Baker County's ordinance.
This is their.
This is like a blanket,
Mhm.
and then the resolution will come out with what they'll call it.
Once they get it all.
Good
Okay,
point.
do we have an update on the city coordinator?
Well, I tried to call that guy about 4 times. He finally sent me an email today. In fact, I said, I'm not sure you're interested in selling us anything. And then I get this email today. And he says, gee, we got one coming in beginning of the week, and he'll send me pictures and the other stuff. This guy has not been communicative at all. The guy from Coastal.
Yeah, because I talked to him and he said he had everything except for the price of the wings. And he's got 3 other options for us to go by. I told him that Martin spoke up and said about the $16,000 grader. I said, that's the one that's got everybody's ears perked up. And I said,
And did he say, gee, that's crazy, it's not 16, it's 66?
no, you didn't say anything. He understood which one it was.
It's
But the-
16,000
But
a year.
the thing is though, is he says, I gave him a ballpark figure. He says, I didn't give him the actual because our graders don't come with blade or with wings on. And I said, okay. And then we also threw in there when I talked to him about a set of chains for it. Because the chains that we have, this machine will eat them for lunch. Because it's got way too much horsepower.
Well,
So anyways, that was thrown in there. And he told me at the first part of last week that he was getting that done. He was waiting for because I talked to him. He said he was waiting for that bid, or not the bid, but the quote to come through for what the wing is. It goes on the machine. And then after that, he said he was going to call you on that.
oh, okay, because his voicemail said he was on vacation.
Now he's on vacation this week because he's hunting.
Okay, so we're still following up on that. Okay, city Christmas tree.
I talked to John and went over and looked at it, and there's 2 good spots. He has a preference and I have a preference, but we're gonna check to make sure that there's no water and sewer on that one section, but it's gonna be in the front yard of the Wright House, closer to the parking lot area of the museum.
Oh,
On the Wright House, if the lines are in the way, then it will go over on the other side, but and they're just gonna keep the tree a little shorter so it doesn't hit the one telephone line.
And they have put a
a hole in the ground.
Well, if they put the hole in the ground, then at least the tree can't fall.
Yeah, so that's all taken care of, and it'll be on the city property.
Okay, Baker County weed control. Have we heard anything more?
So,
about
yeah,
that?
you have in there your email that
Okay.
Jeff sent to you guys along with his invoice.
Oh, okay.
So he's here in case you guys have any questions.
That'd be that answer right there that had the question.
Because I think Martin requested the invoice to, so that we could approve for him to do the streets. Oh, and, because we've already approved for him to do private property.
May I make one comment about that, council people? Like I said, that's an approximation. Two ways to handle it. However you make the motion, if you do, whatever you want to do, make it vague enough that we can modify it a little bit, or use that figure as a cutoff point. And then we can prioritize areas, start from wherever, and if something comes up that it's gotta be different than that, then we do something later on for the other section that needs to be done. So just
Okay.
things to try to do if you're gonna adopt an index. It's so hard depending on weeds and all that, but that is at a high figure just because, as I mentioned in my presentation a while back, that is figuring if we sprayed every mile. The labor is gonna be constant, that's a given, just based on the hour. But we will turn the sprayer on and off where we see weeds. So if a third of your area needs treated, your price will be cut back a third on the herbicide side of that. Okay?
Have you been able to address all the private citizens that have contacted you?
Yes, I've been putting together what I call work orders. And so all those people have been contacting me, all that, I have that listed. Okay. When we come, whether we do anything with the city this fall or not, those will be addressed probably next week or the week after. Okay. Still treat all spot in that week up until the ground's frozen. Project's still working.
And they still have time to contact you if they need to.
Absolutely.
So, this number here that we have as a total, is that, do you think that's a high number, or do you think it needs to be bigger?
Yeah, Mr. Councilman, that is somewhat of a high figure. That's on the amount of miles that your public works guys give me. I figured just the timeline, so it's based on the hour, I think it's 6 hours here. My IT team gave me a brand new printer to get in, I couldn't get it to work, so I could have a document in front of you with me. But, so the hours is fixed, okay? That's about 6 hours. If we go over that, that's probably gonna be on me, to be honest with you, okay? Because it's stuff we do, but like I said, the only not exactly fixed price is the total cost of the herbicides. The materials, because like I said, that could change depending on whether we have the sprayers on or off.
And also the price of the material, because that's not fixed rate for you, is it?
It's not a fixed rate, but with all the different products, that's a pretty good average of what they all come out to be.
But you can spray as much as you can up to that figure.
Sure.
And if you need more, then you can come back to council.
We'll come back to council or talk to your public works, and they said, well, I've talked, it's a couple $100. However you guys want to work it out.
Okay.
Just if you're gonna adopt a motion or something, that's what I said, you may want to put a wiggle word in there or something.
You satisfied with the So do you guys want to go with this figure, or?
I would think that for us, we could raise it up to $850, which would only be $40 more, but at least that would give us a top. At least for the first year anyways, because it should be better, because once he gets a hold on things and things die, then next year you may not have to spray nearly as much.
Trick is to get it all done. Yeah.
Is that doable?
Yeah, make a motion to authorize Baker County weed to spray the city, what did we say, property up to the amount of $850 for the herbicides and the application
Per year.
per year for this year. Do 1 year at a time.
And I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
Is that all you needed to get to spring.
So the next question would be for the council, if I can spray this year, when do you do it?
This
You
year.
were just talking, does that go into effect today?
Yes.
Okay. I didn't know what your budget was, I didn't know if this was a resolution you're putting in to start next year or spring. Like I said, I'm still planning on coming up doing those other lots. We're gonna be up here spraying roadsides, hopefully this coming week. Weather dependent, and if we do it, I might just come up and be ready to treat everything over here. I'll talk to you guys afterwards. Just the protocol of getting a hold of Public Works and making sure that people know and all that kind of stuff, so.
Yeah.
If one of you council members that's kind of over that, you can stick around till afterwards, and I'll visit with you.
If there's some places that people don't want sprayed, do they just need to make note of it?
Yeah, they could just put a sign or
Mhm.
you might yell at me, throw rocks at me or whatever, I'm just.
Okay, well, thank you. Okay, 2022 flea markets. Why is this on here again?
Having them, not having them, so that we can start advertising, not,
Oh,
and that way, if you decide to or not to, then it's decided for the year, and then you don't have to worry about it next year.
thoughts? Is definitely out.
No, I don't want July. I mean, that's something that's the private business owners downtown, but they have to do their own garbage, their own porta potties, and
What are you gonna do about dust abatement?
it would be downtown people only on the July.
I'm talking about the others.
We'll have to.
We dust abate.
Which type?
Well, I guess as we have to decide, I guess it would be the oil. I don't know.
Every time?
We can't do it every time, so that's something we're gonna have to discuss.
Then maybe we ought to put this off until we can figure out what we're gonna do.
Go back to water.
And we'll do the whole town, like last time?
I don't know what we did the other day.
What did they do in water, just the dust abated roads?
No.
I mean, just lawsuit roads?
Well, he did those two, but he also put water on granite,
Down by your house?
not down my
Didn't he?
house.
No, yours?
Yeah, he came and did granite and then did the loop around too, yeah.
Took care of
And
Schmitz.
Myron.
But I think we ought to figure out what we're gonna do, because I had a proposal that I got cut off on, about changing some of that, but I never got to say it, because you guys decided you wanted to just do the water things that last time. So I think we ought to go through it. We have plenty of time yet.
So that would be a table.
Okay, open for options.
Okay, the security fence. We just pulled, I think it's not for you.
So there's an invoice there, it's a high invoice, I'm sure. I just wanna know if you guys want me to apply for that grant. I emailed you the link for the grant, it's a matching grant up to 20,000, so we would just get 10,000. So this is a fencing company that gave that invoice. If we ordered the parts and stuff, I just needed a ballpark in order to be able to apply for this grant. But
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
But it's just one of those things that just depends on how council wants to proceed. And I just need to know if I have the permission to apply for the grant.
Is this for fencing only or other security matters?
Well, right now, council had mentioned that they wanted the fence around the city shop because things were being stolen. And so at that point, I just got an estimate for a fencing.
Okay, but is this grant though, does it have to be for fencing?
No, it's a security grant.
I really think we're better off spending the money to get this place secured, to have like cameras and to have an electronic system. Because I've said before on the record, I think I'm the only resident in this town who doesn't have a key to this place.
I don't.
Oh, you don't?
We don't.
Oh, okay, that's three of us. And I don't know if Skip does, but anyway, I think we need that to be able to tell who's in and out of here. We have lost so many papers over the years, and they're still lost. It's a mess, and that's part of the reason we're broke, is because we can't put anything together and we haven't been able to do our audits. I'd rather spend the money to secure this place.
So then I would take that as a yes for going forward with the grant.
Right.
Well, because,
But I have to tell them what I'm using it for.
well, can't you use it for both? Because that fence could be done by our guys and they could just put up, they don't have to do a fancy barbed wire fence. We can do both. We can do a basic minimum fence and do a good security system too.
It's up to you guys.
We could write it up as security cameras and, you know,
And locks.
and locks and stuff like that, and fencing.
Yeah, because I know on the security fence that went around, that goes around the shop, it's not actually gonna go around, it's gonna go on two sides of it, but it goes out far enough to where we can secure the burn pile. Where we can actually close the gate and people can't dump there.
But this is pretty high. Yeah, let's do it that way we can get.
It's a $25,000 grant, isn't it?
Well,
Oh, 40.
imagine.
Okay.
Okay, so, we have to take that, and the community Thanksgiving, is that the dinner or what?
It's just permission to have the Thanksgiving up at the community center. They've already raised over $500 in donations. It's no affiliation with any club. It's just what they did 2 years ago. Some citizens are getting together and putting on a free Thanksgiving dinner for whoever.
Who's they?
There's quite a few people in town. Laramie's helping, John's helping, I'm helping, Samantha's cooking. It's just the same people. They just get together and they cook the dinner and serve the residents. It was quite an event 2 years ago. We didn't have it last year of COVID, but there's a lot of single people, seniors people. Well, it was down at the Elkhorn. Yeah, they did it down there and it was to go type of thing to COVID, yeah. So it's just people getting together and in town and cooking their food and having a big potluck. So I just told her I'd see if we could secure the community center for that day, and it is on Thanksgiving Day. Time we haven't come up with yet.
I have no problem with it. Anybody else?
I have a question. Do you guys have to vote on that? Because you're kind of earmarking money to get the grant for the security fence or cameras. Do you need to vote on that?
I don't know that we do, we're just giving her permission to apply for it.
We didn't spend no money.
We haven't spent-
She just
Oh, I know, but
applied
if
for
she
the grant.
gets it, then.
She just applied for the
When she
grant.
gets it, then we will discuss what we're actually going to use.
Would they all move that we have her apply for the grant?
Second.
Thank you.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
So, nobody has any problem with it? With the Thanksgiving?
No.
Okay, and you guys are just reserved, the schoolhouse?
Yeah, for Thanksgiving, that's fine. I'll put it on the calendar.
You guys have anything else you want to bring up? Besides the spaghetti feed tonight?
Oh, shop lights. Oh, he's gonna check on that for me, see if we can do that next week.
Anything else? Anything? Okay, public comment?
Public comment, if you have it, you can come up to the green square and have that.
If there's no public comment.
I make a motion, we adjourn.
Second.
All in favor? Thank you, everybody. We have a spaghetti feed, if anybody wants to support the fire department.
Oh, yeah, we got the spaghetti feed.
You're